everyone, in this video here, we're going to go ahead and create a built-in achievement system. Now this is going to work as a plugin. So those of you out there that want to create games, you can have your own achievements built into your game without having to rely on anything else, any outside services or sources, such as the Steam API, which would be great if you were uploading on Steam, but with the $100 upload fee, you're probably not too keen on doing that, especially immediately until you know that you have something that you want to work on for a long time. And the other alternative to that would have been GameJolt, but we know a lot of people are leaving GameJolt because of some decisions that they've made. So either way, we're going to make our own built-in system here that you can use on any project. Alright, so just before we jump in, I'll let you know I'm working on this, a 1280 by 720 resolution that I'm using for my window here. So if you're using a different resolution for your game, you may have to adjust some sizes appropriately or accordingly. Or alternatively, we can also add in a small piece of code that changes the size of everything or the scale of things based off of, the resolution of the monitor. Alright, so the first thing we need to do to create this plugin is we're actually going to go up into project settings, go to the plugins tab, and we can actually just hit create. So you see we can have our plugin name. I'm going to call this the YouTube Achievement plugin, and I'm going to copy that name. I'm going to use that for my subfolder name as well. For the description, I'm going to say allows the user to have built-in achievements for their game. The author, you can put whatever you want. Ideally, of course, this would be your name. Version, of course, version 1.0. It's the very beginning, first version we're doing. Language, we're going to be using GDScript. And for the basic script name, I'm just going to do the YT achievement. And then that'll of course be a .gd, which I'm pretty sure we don't have to put the GD part, since it's just asking us for the name. And activate now is ticked on. Create is not available, so maybe we do have to put, we gotta put GD ourselves. Alright, go ahead and hit create. Now you notice that we actually have an add-ons folder here. We have our folder created for the plugin name that we wanted. And we have our first script here already created for us. And if you were to open this up in a file explorer or file browser, your Finder, etc., you'll find that there's actually another file that's been created, which I don't think we can access here. There we go. There'll be another file created that actually has all of this information. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, we're going to speed up a little bit, and I'm going to do the coding here, and then we'll come back and we'll explain it. Alright, so we kind of hit a small point here. I would almost call it, not exactly a snag, we just have to actually create the actual scene for us first. Because we can't do any more here because we can't load in our pop-up here, and we can't, of course, create our function where we bring our pop-up in. So what we've done is we're using the initial script that was created for us, which is a tool script, which means that this script is going to run in the editor here, and we're extending the editor plugin itself. So we're extending that the actual editor, and we're saying that this script is going to run inside the editor. Next up, we're creating a whole new class. So we'll be creating a new node with this by the name of achievements, and we'll be using this icon that I previously created for this. We have a couple of exports here, one for our icon size and the backing of our pop-up. Now, of course, this is going to be up to the user if they want to use something, or if they want to change it or change these numbers, but these are just a little bit of default that we got going here. And then our achievement list, again, you can have this inside of here as a dictionary and just add to it like you would have saw me do earlier, where I can come in here, I can copy, just add a comma on the end, enter, and go like this, change the IDs to continue going. Or since it is an export, if you really want to and you want to remember this format, you can actually just click over into the inspector and you have all that info there. And we can see that because now we can come up here, we can add a new node, we can start typing achievements, and there it is. There we go. So the icon next to our node here wasn't showing up, so I just did a quick reload of the project. We're going up to projects, reload current project, and now our icon is loaded in properly. These folders here, I previously created them and then just copied them in. The only thing inside of them is a font and my achievement icon. Alright, so now we can move on to actually creating our achievement scene, where we can actually create our pop-up so that we can finish the actual script here. Alright, so we're going to go in, create a other node. It's going to be a canvas layer because we need this to be on top. We don't need to name this, but we will. Just why not? That's what we do. Achievement, so I'll call this achievement pop-up. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly create this scene here in 2D with our 720 size in mind. I'm going to go ahead and save this before we move on. This will be part of our add-ons. Come in here and create a new folder for the achievement scene. Alright, so again, speed it up and see you in a moment. Alright, so now we have our achievement pop-up scene. It just consists of a canvas layer to make sure it's always on top of our game and whatever else is going on. We have our animation player where we actually created our pop-up here, as well as our fade for a little achievement. So the idea we're going to do is we're going to have it pop up, we're going to have it wait about 3 seconds, and then we'll tell it to go back down and disappear. And then the actual information here consists of a control node that's just holding everything. We have a backing here that our user will be able to change the color of in our achievement node. We have the icon here that will be set based off of the information in our dictionary, the icon that's loaded for each achievement. We have the title, which again will change based off of our title information inside of the achievement in our dictionary, and again same with our dictionary, or sorry, our description. I do want to make one change here in the inspector for the label, the title. There we go. I just want to set that to clip the text. And how far is it? So set that about there. That way the name can only be so long and then it just gets cut off. Alright, going ahead and setting that. And we just pull that back to the beginning of our animation there. That way it plays properly, which it should, but sometimes when you just leave it like in the middle or something like this, it'll play from that point. So just to be safe, always bring our animation back to the beginning. And with that, we can now actually come over into our demo scene that I'll be demonstrating this with. And we can create the last of our... Oh no, we don't. Before doing that, we can actually create our script here for our achievement pop-up. So I could, again, just speed through this, but I mean, really, there's nothing to really speed through. We're just gonna play the animation, wait 3 seconds, and play it backwards. grab it, play the pop-up. Wait for the animation to be finished. We're going to yield. And we're going to be waiting for the animation player. For the signal animation finished. Once it's finished, we'll wait 3 seconds. Hit tree. Create timer. 3 seconds. Wait for that to time out. And then we'll play the animation backwards. And playing it backwards is what's going to cause it to go back down and fade out without us having to wait. Or without us having to create additional animations for no reason. And we're going to wait for the signal to say that it's finished, and then we'll just delete itself. So, free to free up our resources, and then we'll spawn it in again when we need it later. So, no need to just speed through that. Now we can actually come over here. And I'll actually create the function that we're going to need for this now. Alright, so now we're done speeding through that. We've got our achievement function here. We've loaded in our scene here at the top, so it's no longer commented out. For our achievement IDs 1 and 2, I went ahead and created 2 separate images here so we can see if they do work. And then inside of our function here, we're just setting our variable achievement to being an instance of our achievement pop-up, adding it to the scene. We're setting to the name to just be achievement with a capital A. And then I added our pop-up scene to our demo scene here just to make it easier to grab all of our paths here without having any issues. And to make sure that we get all our spelling and everything correct here. So I'm using that. I can delete that out of there. So we're getting the backing of it, and we're setting the color to whatever color we pick on our achievement node. We're setting the size to our icon size, which again we can set in the inspector. We're setting the texture to whatever is loaded here. That corresponds to the correct achievement. We're setting the title of our text to the title that's written in there, and the description to whatever's written in here. Now, if you didn't see it earlier, when you add your achievements to the scene, your achievement node, you can see it over on the inspector. We have our icon size and the color. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my color. Now we have like a cool blue. For testing here, I'm going to go with this dark green for my example, because then we know that the color changes and it works. The icon size, I'm going to leave it at 40 by 40. I feel that is a good size for it. And now I'm just going to go ahead and create a quick script and a button in that so that we can actually do something to trigger our achievements. Alright, so we have our little scene here, and all we're going to do is when we click this button, this is going to increase the count, and when we get to a count of 1, it should unlock our achievement if it has not been unlocked already, which it has not. It's false by default. And then once we get to 10, again, our second achievement should unlock. So that's all we're doing here. We're just updating the number that gets displayed on screen and checking if an achievement has been unlocked. So right after we update the counter, we'll do a check unlock. Alright, so now if we were to run this scene. Alright, so we fixed that little bug, a little issue. For whatever reason. It decided that it wanted to be a node now and no longer accept the editor. That's fine. So here in our test, again, we'll go ahead and give it a shot. Now we made our background that dark green, like you can see on the right hand side there, and I left it 40 by 40. When we hit this for the first time, our account should turn to 1, and we should see our pop-up activating with our first achievement. There we go. So I don't think that actually got captured there, unfortunately. But I was just saying, fix the issue was just a pathing issue. Now when I click it the first time, you'll see it pop up in the corner. There it is, with our custom icon, title, and description, and then it'll happen again when we get to 10, when all of our requirements are met. Anyway, with that, you now know how to create your own built-in achievement system very easily, fairly quickly. Just add on to your achievements, your list of achievements, and I'll see you guys next time.